I'm delighted to welcome back to the show West End performer Sharon Sexton, fresh from the cast of Billy Elliot. Now, Sharon also won great praise for her one-woman show, A Fit Wife for a Revolutionary, at the Irish Centre, Camden. Now, the same highly successful theatre company, Biscuits for Breakfast, is preparing to return to Camden. Sharon, you're an extremely accomplished performer, and your husband Killian has written and directed a play for you. He's giving you some big shoes to fill. Tell us more, Sharon.
Yes, thank you. It's Somewhere Under the Rainbow, the Liza Minnelli Story is the show, and Killian wrote it a couple of years ago, and we've toured it around Dublin, and we've decided to bring it out in the UK this year. So we've been at the Brighton Fringe Festival, we've been up the Greater Manchester Fringe Festival, and we're delighted to be playing the Camden Fringe Festival in August. So we're doing one night only in the London Irish Centre.
Excellent. Sounds a rather interesting one. Now, Sharon, you're portraying what could only be described as an icon, and you've certainly nailed this, as you've played to full houses already in Dublin, Brighton, Manchester, with the critics describing your delivery as flawless. As Liza Minnelli has such a distinctive voice, how difficult was it to hone in on that for yourself?
Yeah, it really was, actually. I mean, the reason why we started the whole thing is because people told me that I looked like her and that it was uncanny, and I had never seen it. But I did a role on stage, and whatever wig I had on and whatever outfit I had on, people kept saying it to me. And so Killian decided to look into it and started reading up on her and reading some of her biographies and stuff. And just she had a fascinating life. And as you say, she is completely an icon. She's kind of one of the last living Hollywood legends from that era. You know, she's got the legacy of Judy Garland and her parents, Vincent Minnelli, behind her. So she's massive shoes to fill. And she's such a distinctive performer as well. Her voice, as you say, is something that I've had to work really hard on to try and disguise the Irish accent as well. But I think we're nearly there. I fooled a couple of people so far into believing that I'm actually American. That's good.
Oh, that's not a bad start. Now, we'll be playing later on your version of Maybe This Time from Cabaret, which is absolutely superb. That song, that I believe, was recorded in Dublin.
That's right, yes. We did the show for one night only in the Olympia Theatre a few years ago. We got the opportunity to stage it, and we were actually meant to be getting married, and we had planned the wedding and everything and set the date, and then this opportunity to come up to put the show on in the Olympia. So like the absolute madcaps that we are, we put the wedding on hold, put it back by a few months, and we threw everything at it. So the production there, it was for one night only as well, but as you know, it's quite a big venue, but it went fantastically. And because it was such a one-off event, we filmed everything and we recorded everything. So yeah, the song that you're hearing and that you'll be playing was recorded there along with our video promo as well. So it was an amazing night. So we're hoping to try and recreate a bit of that in Camden.
Excellent. It's not too many people who would put off the wedding in order to do something like that.
I know, that was a really interesting conversation to have with the mammy, but and it would have been horrendous that only 20 people called up. But you know, people love Liza, they love her, and she's one of those performers you can't help when you watch her on stage, just feeling like you're watching a best friend telling you a story. She's an incredible storyteller. So channeling her every night is quite a challenge, but I love playing her because she's just amazing. You know, she's really great.
Do you have a favourite Liza Minnelli song yourself?
I do, but I won't give it away. But it's the last song on the show, and it's a song which I don't think a lot of people know. It wouldn't be one of her biggest hits, but she got it written specifically for her by Kander and Ebb, who wrote Cabaret the Musical. She asked them to write a song about her father, because as you know, Judy Garland is the one that everybody associates with Liza.
Yes.
But her father was an incredible director, and she wrote this beautiful song about him, which she sings, which features in the show, and I really do. That's the goosebump moment for me. I love it.
Excellent. Now, you've a daunting task of entertaining an audience for a running time of 65 minutes, but you're also part of an excellent team. Who are the three collaborators?
Well, it was written and directed by Killian O'Donoghue, so he's the husband, the director, and the writer, and the slave driver. And then we have the lovely Ivan McKenna, who's the musical director, who's an award-winning MD, who's based in Ireland, but he comes over to work with us over here, which is great. And then we have Joby Redmond, who is our costume designer and set designer extraordinaire, so he kind of brings the whole look together. So, between the four of us, we've managed to put on a really high quality piece. So we're hoping to do it again beyond Camden, but we're really excited to bring it back to the London Irish Centre after the success of the show there in March. Audiences were great. It's such a lovely community, and they were so supportive, so we're hoping they'll enjoy it.
Excellent. Now the show is called Somewhere Under the Rainbow, the Liza
Yes.
Minnelli Story. Is the title a nod to Liza sometimes being in her famous mother Julie Garland's shadow or struggles she's encountered? How was the title arrived at?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Because I mean, like the parts of the play that her life story that we focus on in the show really is the younger Liza, because obviously I'm the age that I am. So it's all about when she was trying to break into the business and trying to step out from that shadow. And that's the thing about the show as well. I think even if you're not a massive Liza fan or a Judy fan, anybody who's ever had to work hard to try and step out of the shadow or try and prove themselves, especially in a business like this, will be able to kind of find some empathy with her as a character, because she is like, she's non-stop. She doesn't take no for an answer. She's such a grafter, you know.
Excellent stuff. Now, obviously Killian must have done a lot of research in order
Yes.
to actually sort of inform the script, so to speak, because I mean she was involved in the era like of, for example, Frank Sinatra was in the family circle.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he was one of the first people to come to visit her in the hospital when she was born. I'm like, that's going to set you on the road to stardom straight away, isn't it? I mean, if that's your first visitor.
Indeed.
So yeah, he was her godfather as well. So I mean, that's what I mean. She's kind of got that legacy behind her of Hollywood. So Killian we've tried to, gather all of these stories and try and figure out what's fact and fiction, because there's a lot of, kind of stories that are surrounding her and myths surrounding that family. So we've really tried to take reality and to try and make a character out of it. But of course, all of those names are dropped in there as well, because you can't tell Liza's story without it, can you?
Indeed not.
So,
now, the show was actually set in a theatre dressing room, making it more intimate and thought-provoking, perhaps. Did you deliberately set out to showing the Liza away from the floodlights, the footlights on stage?
Yeah. Well, you see, that's the funny thing for me, even when I'm playing her. Like, because Killian did a lot of research, but also when I'm performing as Liza, I'm constantly going through old video footage and old interviews and stuff to try and see, capture Liza. And it's really difficult because she's such a pro, and she was so groomed and she was presented in this industry from such a young age that she's absolutely professional. And it's really rare that you kind of see past the glimpse of, or the veneer that she has up, like this kind of polished professional. She answers the same questions, and she has the same stories that she goes to all the time. So we've worked really hard to try and get beyond that. And so yeah, that's the reason for setting it, of course, in the dressing room as well. It's her preparing for a performance, so it's Killian's take on how she's feeling about going out there as well, based on all of the facts that he's researched. So it's been quite an interesting process putting it all together.
Excellent. Now the show it's at 7:30 Friday the 19th of August at the McNamara Suite, the London Irish Centre, and no doubt an excellent night for people to sort of enjoy. Now it sounds like a treat, and if that isn't enough, I know that you have a firm following now in Camden, and Biscuits for Breakfast will be back there in the autumn presenting some mini plays.
Yeah, that's right. What we're doing is, this is the thing with Liza, with Somewhere Under the Rainbow. It actually started out as a 10-minute piece in a coffee shop as part of the Dublin International Gay Theatre Festival in Dublin. And it's grown into this fantastic show. And so we've worked really closely with the London Irish Centre, and Biscuits for Breakfast, our company, are going to be hosting a short play competition in October. And really it's for any aspiring London Irish creatives out there, or people with an Irish heritage who are living in London, to just create small pieces of work and giving them a platform and a festival to kind of do it. So that's going to be happening in October for 4 nights, which we're really excited about, because that's where Liza came from. And it was just about having that opportunity and a deadline. Deadlines are great. If somebody says to you, right, you've got a space, you have to do a show, then, you do it. So that's kind of what we're hoping to do, just to give other young companies or people starting out a platform to start creating and put on something. So you never know what it could turn into.
Indeed. Now, somewhere under the rainbow, the Liza Minnelli Stories for one night only, 19th of August, and you can book at camdenfringe.com. Inquiries 07858 711 320. Link on our website, irishradio.org. Also, Sharon, listen, you're obviously going from strength to strength. I'm sure Liza with a Z with the Sharon Sexton treatment will be a runaway success.
Well, thank you very much, and thanks for having me on. It's great to speak to you again.
Sharon, a real pleasure, and hopefully speak to you soon again.
All right, take care. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Sharon.